We are in the 207 kitchen at Maine Studios, where I am joined by Ellie Allen. She is the chef on the Merry Day Schooner, which is part of the Maine Windjammers Association, and she is going to be making some lobster corn chowder for us today. So let's jump right in. What do we do first?
All right. So the first thing that we did yesterday, we had a little bit of a prep session. So the first thing we did was we roasted our corn on the wood fire in the stove. So it's pretty cool. You just pop the inserts out, put the corn right down, and just let it go.
Does that make the flavor different?
Hugely different. It tastes like it's been barbecued.
Okay.
Except like on wood smoke. It's fantastic. So we're going to get our pot going on full here. And then we're going to start with some bacon fat just to make contact a little bit better.
All right.
And then we're going to put in a whole bunch of diced bacon.
Who doesn't love that?
We're going to take the fat out of that. So this is just going to sit and hang out with this for a little bit on a gentle heat.
Okay.
Until it all melts and we get the goodness.
Okay.
So that's going to hang out. In the meantime, we've got a red pepper here, and we're going to dice this up. So just take the top off, take the bottom off, and then trim the sides.
Is this one that you make a lot?
We make this one a lot on the boat. It's really popular. We always end up having leftover lobster. Every cruise on the Maine Windjammer Association boats includes a lobster bake ashore. So we always end up having a little bit of extra leftover lobster. This is good when we only have a couple.
Yeah.
Sometimes we end up with a lot of leftovers. Sometimes we don't. People are really good. We tell them that they're not allowed to come ashore until they finish the lobster, but they don't always listen. So we end up with leftovers.
Hey, well then you can use it for something like this.
Exactly. You end up eating it twice, and people love that because like people
lobster.
come to Maine for lobster,
Exactly.
so why wouldn't you?
Exactly. All right, so these are just dice those up.
Yep, just nice small dice on the peppers. Same size as everybody else. It's going to match our potatoes. So we're starting to get the fat out of our bacon here.
Yeah, I'm just going to stand right here.
Just smell it. This is a nice local bacon.
Good.
It's from a farm up by Camden.
Nice.
A lot of the boats try to keep everything local as possible. So this came from a farm near Camden. The corn, unfortunately, it's February, so you know, corn
happens.
But,
yep.
So in the meantime, we can take our corn off the cob, and we roast it whole, and we're going to end up using the cobs in the soup as well.
Okay, I have never heard of that.
We're going to take them back out before we serve it, but like when we trim the corn off, there's still a little bit left on the cob, and why wouldn't we put that in the soup?
Yeah. So it's kind of like when you're making like a stock or something?
Exactly. Like we're making a corn stock at the same time that we're making our chowder. So our bacon's pretty well ready to go here. We're going to drop our onions in on top of that.
Oof. And how much onion is that?
That is about 2 onions.
2 onions, okay. So what do we want this to look like? Like how will we know when this is done?
The onions are going to get translucent and they'll start to get a little bit of browning on them.
Okay.
You can definitely tell. Usually on the boat we let this caramelize all the way and you end up with like a really rich caramelized onion flavor, like, for lack of a better descriptor.
Yeah.
But yeah. And our celery.
Just all goes in.
Everybody goes in the pot.
Look at all the colors too. It's pretty.
All right, so we're going to deglaze this with some white wine, get the stuff off the bottom.
Oh yeah, you want all those little bits that are on there.
All the stuff that burns to the bottom is actually just flavor, so we got to pull that off the bottom and get it into the soup. So we've got a little bit of potato starch here. I like to use potato starch instead of flour because it's gluten-free, obviously, and we're not adding anything else into the chowder. There's going to be potatoes in there already, so adding a little bit more potato doesn't disturb it.
Yeah. And what is this mixture called?
So this is going to be a slurry.
A slurry?
Yep. So a slurry is just a dry ingredient that you mix with a wet ingredient before adding it into the wet. Okay. So this keeps it from getting all clumpy. If you've ever tried to make a gravy and it ended up clumpy, if you do this first, you're good to go.
Okay.
So add the rest of our milk and cream. And drop our potatoes in there. This will be done when the potatoes are cooked.
Okay.
So now we've got it up to a boil. We're just going to make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom. And we're going to add our slurry in there. And this will make it nice and thick in a hurry. Slurry in a hurry. So now that that's thickened, we would take out the corn cobs and it's ready to go. So we just garnish it with some tarragon on its way out. We don't chop it up too much. That way you're not losing anything onto the cutting board. And stir that in. You can smell it. It's right there. Last thing that goes in is the lobster because we don't want to overcook it. Because remember, this is leftovers from our lobster bakes on shore.
Right. Mix that in. Oh yeah, that looks so good.
I'm not just going to sit and simmer until the potatoes are cooked. But this one here is ready to go. I'm going to give you a bowl of that.
Look at Oh, so good. It's so thick.
Yeah, sticks to your insides.
that.
Nobody's gonna go hungry when they're eating this.
Yep.
A little bit of parsley and a couple of oyster crackers.
Look at
And there
that.
it is.
All right, it's perfect. We've got the recipe and instructions right on the 207 section of our website. We're gonna dig in and we'll be right back.